It was a crisp morning on our family ranch, the kind where the air smells of hay and the goats bleat softly in the distance. My wife, Emily, 5 months pregnant, was giggling by the fence, watching our rooster, Apollo, peck at a stray bit of string. The sun cast a golden glow over the fields, and for a moment, everything felt perfect. We'd been pouring our hearts into this place, a sprawling piece of land passed down from my granddad, fixing up the barn, extending the pasture, and dreaming of a peaceful life for our growing family. But that serenity shattered when a dusty SUV screeched to a stop by our driveway. Out stepped Linda, a woman from the local HOA, her eyes blazing with a fury I couldn't comprehend. What followed was a nightmare that tested our resolve, pushed us to the edge, and left us fighting for everything we held dear. Linda stormed onto our property like she owned it, her voice sharp as a whip, spitting out accusations about code violations and unauthorized livestock. She glared at the freshly painted barn bright red, just how Emily wanted it in at our goats, and finally at Emily herself, her pregnant belly impossible to miss. I tried to stay calm, a habit from my days as a deputy sheriff, but my blood was boiling. We'd always known our ranch was exempt from HOA rules, thanks to the agricultural zoning in my granddad's will. I asked Linda, politely but firmly, to show proof that her HOA had any say over our land. She waved me off, her tone dripping with arrogance, as if her word was law. Emily, ever the peacemaker, stepped forward, offering to show her legal documents. Before she could finish, Linda lunged. Her foot shot out, striking Emily's stomach with a sickening thud. Time seemed to freeze. Emily gasped, clutching her belly, her face pale with shock. My heart pounded, rage and fear colliding in my chest. How could someone do this? To my pregnant wife? Over a barn's paint color? Apollo, our rooster, let out a piercing crow, his feathers puffed up like he sensed the madness unfolding. I rushed to Emily, my voice shaking as I asked if she was okay. She nodded, trying to stay strong, but I could see the pain in her eyes. Linda, unfazed, had the audacity to claim she was defending herself from a public health risk. She ranted about pregnant women near farm animals, spouting nonsense about HOA regulations. I could barely process her words. Neighbors started gathering by the fence, drawn by the commotion, their faces a mix of confusion and concern. Linda spun toward them, threatening to report them as accomplices to our supposed crimes. It was surreal, like watching a tyrant unravel. I had to act. Guiding Emily toward the barn for safety, I grabbed the old emergency radio from my granddad's desk. My call for help was short, desperate. Linda trailed us, still filming with her phone, sneering about making us VY Rao ranch criminals. She mocked Apollo, calling him a hazardous bird, and accused our goats of spreading disease. Emily, wincing, urged me to stay calm, but every fiber of me wanted to protect my family. When Officer Martinez arrived, gravel crunching under his patrol car, relief flooded me. We'd worked together years ago, and I trusted his steady hand. He took one look at the scene, Emily leaning against a barn, me shielding her, Linda while VYing laminated HOA papers like a fanatic, and went straight to Emily, asking if she needed a medic. She shook her head, her voice trembling. Linda tried to bulldoze him with demands to arrest us, but Martinez shut her down, his voice calm but firm. I explained everything. Linda's trespassing, her assault, our legal exemption. Neighbors backed me up, nodding as Linda's shouts grew frantic. Martinez re-VYEU'd our property deeds in the barn's office, ignoring Linda's screams about forged documents. The truth was undeniable. Our ranch was ours, free and clear. Martinez turned to Linda, his tone ice cold, and handed her a citation for assault. He warned her to leave or face arrest. Her smug facade cracked, her jaw dropping as she realized no one was buying her act. She stomped off, still filming, vowing to destroy us online. Emily let out a shaky breath, and I held her close, asking about the baby. She nodded, but the bruise forming on her side told a different story. That night, neighbors stopped by with food and kind words, reminding us we weren't alone. Apollo strutted the yard, chest puffed out, like he'd single-handedly chased Linda off. Emily even joked about naming the baby after him, but the tension lingered. Linda wasn't done. Days later, she was back, prowling our fence line in a ridiculous HOA compliance patrol vest, filming our goats and yelling about health hazards. Emily, still sore, gave me a weary look. I grabbed my phone, ready to document her nonsense. She claimed our animals were a threat, that Emily's pregnancy near them was dangerous. It was absurd, but her obsession was chilling. Then, Apollo took matters into his own wings. Flapping onto the fence, he crowed indignantly, startling Linda. Our donkey, Buster, ambled over, curious. Linda, flustered, waved her clipboard at Apollo, screaming about VY size roosters. In her frenzy, she stepped too close to the fence, slipped in a muddy patch, and toppled into a puddle. Her phone landed in the muck, her vest splattered. Apollo crowed triumphantly, and Emily bit back a laugh. Linda scrambled up, humiliated, and hobbled to her car, spitting insults. Neighbors watched from a distance, shaking their heads. It was almost comical, but the fear of her next move loomed. Soon, our mailbox was stuffed with HOA complaints, noise, violations, fencing issues, unsanitary animals. None held legal weight, but the sheer volume was exhausting. Emily tried to laugh, suggesting we wallpaper the barn with them, but I saw the strain in her eyes. Then an HOA attorney showed up, all slick suit and smug attitude, claiming we were in violation and hinting we should settle quietly. We stood firm, showing him our zoning papers. He left, but the harassment didn't stop. The final blow came with a court summons. Linda accused us of assaulting her, claiming our animals attacked her and our ranch harmed property values. It was laughable, but the hearing date was real. We prepared meticulously. Neighbor testimonies, video of Linda's kick, our ironclad property records. I even found old letters in Granddad's desk, hinting at shady deals between the HOA and city planners to push out ranchers like us. The courtroom was tense. Linda swept in, wearing a fake neck brace, playing the VY Tim. Her lawyer spun a wild tale of us sicking aggressive livestock on her. Our attorney waited, then played the VY Deo of Linda's assault. The room went silent. You could hear Emily's gasp from that day, see the shock on her face. Linda tried to interrupt, but the judge, a no-nonsense woman with piercing eyes, silenced her. Neighbors testified, confirming Linda's aggression. When I mentioned Granddad's letters, Linda's eyes flickered guilt. Maybe? The judge ruled swiftly. Linda was guilty of assault and harassment, fined, put on probation, and barred from our land with a restraining order. Emily squeezed my hand, tears of relief in her eyes. Linda's house hit the market soon after. Rumors swirled legal fees, crushed her, or she couldn't stand VYing near people who defied her. A new family moved in, friendly and uninterested in our goats. Emily gave birth to our daughter, Lily, in a whirlwind of joy that washed away the bitterness. Apollo hopped onto the porch to inspect her, and we laughed, calling him the ranch's guardian. But we didn't forget. We installed cameras, updated locks, and kept our documents safe. Those letters from Granddad, we sent copies to a watchdog group, hoping to expose any corruption Linda might have been part of. We never got answers, but it felt right. Now, Lily's toddling around, giggling as Buster sniffs her tiny hands. Apollo still crows at dawn, and Emily's smile is brighter than ever. Linda's gone. Her threats faded like dust on the road. But her attack left scars, not just a bruise on Emily's side, but a reminder of how fast peace can unravel. We stood our ground, backed by truth and neighbors who refused to bow to a bully. Apollo's crow, that muddy slip, the judge's gavel theory part of our story now. A tale of defiance will tell Lily, so she grows up knowing what it means to fight for what's right. So what do you think? Was Linda just a power-hungry zealot, or part of a bigger scheme to erase ranches like ours? Should we have pressed harder to investigate those letters, or was getting her out of our lives enough? And let's talk about Apollo hero, or just a feisty bird who stole the show. Drop your thoughts below. Hit that like button if you're Team Apollo, and subscribe for more stories of standing up to the Karens of the world.